Test one, two, test. Pineapple. Pineapple. All right, how's it sound?
Perfect.
Perfect pineapple. All right. Ready when you are, sir.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Bro, man, what's going on in New York?
New York got what's going on in New York? I don't even know what's going on in New York. What is going on in New York? Fill me
I,
in.
I know we talked about Como and
Yeah.
Mandami, um, just destroying it. Did you know that Mandani said he would arrest Netanyahu if he came to the United States?
Yeah, they that was during the primaries because they were asking like every one of them said like my first official visit will be to Israel, and Mamdavi said like I'm going to New York, like I'm the mayor of New York. That was a good answer. But then they asked him what he would something like what would you say if Netanyahu came to New York? He was like, oh, I'd arrest him for being a war criminal, which like they thought that was going to kill him because there's New York has the highest concentration of Jewish people anywhere in the world outside of Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv, Israel, is the only city with a higher percentage of Jewish people. So
Yeah.
they thought that was going to crush him. And apparently, there's a lot of American Jewish people that were not offended by that at all.
No,
So,
I mean, if you look at what they're doing, and man, it's crazy. It's
yeah.
crazy. Speaking of the genocide over there, like AOC has just came out. So actually, Marjorie Taylor Greene introduced a bill to defund um, um, Israel's war defense missile system, right?
So defund the IDF or like the missiles, the Patriot missiles that we
The
have over there,
Patriot
the
missiles
Iron Dome.
yeah, the Iron Dome to
Yeah,
defund the Iron Dome. And
that's.
for what AOC didn't vote. She voted against it.
Oh wait, Marge wanted to defund it,
Yeah.
and AOC said no, no, no. We need to keep giving them weapons.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know why she would do that. She says, okay, so actually I got her tweet. She said it says Marjorie Taylor Greene's amendment does nothing to cut off offensive aid to Israel nor end the flow of US munitions being used in Gaza. Of course, I voted against it. What it does do is cut off defense Iron Dome capabilities while allowing the actual bombs killing Palestinians to continue. I have long stated that I do not believe that adding to the death count of innocent victims to this war is constructive to its end. That is a simple and clear difference of opinion that has long been established. I remain focused on cutting the flow of U.S. munitions that are being used to perpetrate the genocide in Gaza. So,
Okay, and that I mean that's not surprising because these politicians, left and right, will say like I'm putting forward a bill to do this, but then in their bill, it's really a lot of other stuff that's not what they were trying to make the headline be. So without
right.
knowing anything about it, I'll bet Marge tried to do a whole I'm cutting off Israel, but like she was probably I'm guessing there was more to it than that.
I think it was
Yeah.
just that, which is a weird thing. Like you would
In
think she would, it's a small step, right? We just keep funding
Yeah.
Israel and their genocide, basically, which puts us in. Apparently, we have military troops over there shooting Gazans at this point.
We don't. We have like mercenaries over there.
Mercenaries. Okay.
There's like a private army. I don't know what you'd call it, but yeah, there are American citizens that are
Oh, like
not.
Black Rock or something.
Yeah, so BlackRock is the investment fund, I think.
Okay.
Blackwater or something.
Blackwater. That's
Something
right.
like that. Eric Prince. Eh, Eric Prince was the brother of Betsy DeVos. Betsy DeVos was Trump's first Secretary of Education. They're billionaires from Michigan, I believe. And
Okay.
her brother, Eric Prince, he pops up in the news all these random times. Like he wanted to run like private prisons. It ended up being basically what we did in El Salvador, but he was trying to pitch Trump on like, no, 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 let me run these like black site prisons where these people will
Uh,
have no rights. Like he's a shady dude, and even
dude.
like in the original the Russia hoax, like he popped up. He was having meetings with people in the. Uh, you, I can see how the word is spelled, like the Seychelles or something like that. Seychelles.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
group
yeah.
of islands. I don't know how to say it. I've read it a bunch, but he's an interesting dude that pops up everywhere, and he runs. I think it's called Blackwater.
But yeah, it is. It's Blackwater.
Is it
Yeah,
Blackwater? Okay,
I got him confused.
yeah. So
So did you know that Susie Wiles was actually Netanyahu's campaign manager?
there's a whole weird thing there. So Susie Wiles has all kinds of foreign experience. I'm gonna. experience is the word we're going to use. Like
Sure.
even like Trump's first campaign, and we're going to get into a little bit of Trump Russia because now that's back in the news. But like his first campaign back in 2016, at one point he had Paul Manafort as his campaign manager.
Hmm.
Manafort's previous job was I don't know if it was a campaign manager, but he was in the inner circle of a Ukrainian president. I think it was Viktor Yushchenko, but he was
Okay.
like a Putin puppet that like Putin really liked this guy, and he was in that inner
Um,
circle, and he went straight from like working on campaigns in Ukraine to support the pro-Russia candidate to then coming over and being Trump's campaign manager, and it's like that right there is
this is
interesting.
crazy.
But then,
This is so crazy, and like nobody talks about this.
well, and I don't think people understand because like even like Pam Bondi was a lobbyist for Qatar and maybe
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia or something. There's I don't like that at all. And I don't know for sure if there should be rules against it. I just, overall, when I find out that our elected officials, like, oh, Trump just named this person to do this, previously they had all these foreign conflicts. I don't like that.
It's so crazy how corrupt everything is.
It is. Real quick, since you brought up Gaza, I got to say, I listened to a report today, and man, I thought about actually splicing in some video here of some of the children starving to death, but it's
Yeah.
like I can't do it. Like I don't like to see it, and I don't want to put it on our show.
Yeah.
But the number of deaths from starvation in Gaza is like really accelerating. People have been saying for like the last month that it's about to hit a point where there's gonna be deaths all
Yeah.
at once. The situation is dire from what people are
Like,
saying.
there's
Uh,
18 today.
God, and a lot of them are children. So apparently they're not letting baby formula in, and the mothers are too malnourished for their breast milk to give any nutrients, whatever. I'm butchering this probably. But so babies and old people are the first to go when these situations, and that's what's happening. Is it's like I
Yeah.
saw a video of like a 6-month-old kid that was just. I hate to be crass about it, just a bag of bones. I mean, there was
Yeah.
nothing bones and skin. Like it was
I
just
was
awful.
watching it earlier today too.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and
It's insane.
I saw on Sunday 73 people died at a food aid distribution site trying to get food, and that's what they keep setting up these food aid sites, and then the people bum rush it because they're starving to death, and then they open fire on the crowd, and
Yeah, why?
yeah. So in Israel's blocking food aid. They've been blocking it they keep saying, well, we're letting certain aid through, but then when they do, they open fire on the crowd. So
Yeah, and they're saying that the food aid that they're giving them is like Russia or Israel run. It's
yeah,
like it's just kind of a farce. Like they're not really giving them much.
I think America has suggested it, but we haven't really pushed for it. But people have suggested like, hey, let the U.S. run the food distribution. Like, let us get in there and do it.
No, you know
And
what? The U.S. needs to just step in and say, you need to
yeah,
stop. This is ridiculous. You need to stop.
yeah.
The entire world needs to say that.
Well,
This is insane. And instead, the United States is funding it. We're giving them the weapons to kill these people.
yeah,
And not only allowing it, but funding it.
yeah. We're
And I was
supporting
looking
it.
it up. I heard this today that like, so Israel has universal healthcare, right?
Yeah, and free college, I believe.
No, they don't have free college,
Okay.
but I think you do go through high school and then you go to the military immediately, like everybody.
Yeah. That is, if you're Israeli, you have to serve in the IDF.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, what did it? So they have free universal healthcare or universal healthcare, and their national debt is way lower than ours,
Yeah,
percentage wise and total number, right? But we're still giving them tens of billions of dollars,
yeah.
hundreds of billions of
Probably
dollars,
hundreds of billions. Yeah, I
trillions,
mean,
probably in the trillions at this point.
I wouldn't
Every
get not per year, but yeah, overall, if you were to add up what we've given them in the past 30 years, it's up
Why are we
there.
giving this to them?
Because
Our national debt is
so
way higher than theirs.
to a point, there is an element you can make an argument. I'm going to try to do this I'm going to walk a line here. It really helps for us to have an ally in that part of the world as far as intelligence and all. Like when we were battling the war on terror and all that, it helps for us to have a footprint in the Middle East of a democracy that
We could have a way better ally over there.
and it seems like Saudi Arabia might be the new. I don't know.
Saudi Arabia, Egypt. I mean, we could pick an
Yeah.
ally. Like we could have an ally over there pretty easily.
The thing is, up until a certain point, and I don't even know if you'd say back in like 2005, maybe, but up until a certain point, it was a good investment for us to have Israel. Like it helped us, the money we were spending on it, we were getting a good return out of it. At a certain point, probably about
Just by weapons
2005,
manufacturing.
No, no. I mean, honestly, having eyes and ears over there. We for a long time we relied on Israeli intelligence to tell us what was going on. It had warn us of threats that were coming. Anyhow, it's
What
not that
threats?
anymore.
What they did? They missed 9/11.
We
What
and
threats?
both us and them missed 9/11 hardcore. Um, yeah. Like I said, for the last 20 years, they're definitely benefiting way more than we are. There was a period of time where we benefited from the relationship. That's all I'm saying.
This
Not
is
anymore.
crazy. This
Yeah.
is crazy. This needs to stop.
Yeah. And then
Uh,
I don't know if you've seen, but Israel bombed Damascus, the capital of Syria, the other day.
uh-huh.
After, and this is the we need to spend a whole episode on this, but the Syrian civil war that happened, us and Israel, the US and Israel were both supporting one group that was basically Al Qaeda. I mean, they go by a new name like HTS or something like that, but they're Al Qaeda.
Mhm.
The
Yep.
leader of them was former Al Qaeda, and we supported them in overthrowing Assad. I think it's one of those the enemy of my enemy is my friend type
Sure.
situations.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and now Trump is easing up sanctions on them in order to get business going in Syria. And then as soon as the Assad regime fell, Israel just like rushed across the border, the Golan Height region, rushed
Hmm.
across the border and basically just stole some land. Said, "Hey, this is ours now." And then there was a man. I wish I read up more on this, but there's a group over there called the Druze. Sounds just like Jews, but the Druze, and apparently the Druze are in Syria, but they're kind of aligned with Israel. So they rushed in to protect them. There were some skirmishes, and then they just started bombing Syria. And America's response was to say, hey, the Syrian army needs to pull out of there. The Syrian army needs to back out and de escalate. And it's like, it's their land. Like, why not tell Israel to back out? But I think
Uh,
I think the map's going to be redrawn and they just get that area now. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's really weird.
And yeah, the US is just in cahoots with Israel to make
Yeah.
these land grabs, and it's really wild to me, and kill all these people. I mean, how many people are going to die in Israel or in Gaza by the time this is done?
All
How
of
many
them.
thousands?
I mean, nobody. It still comes down to like nobody will take them. That's the bummer of it all. Is there has been outreach, America, and
They
even
shouldn't
other.
have to go anywhere. They shouldn't have to
Yeah,
go anywhere.
they're not staying there. I'm just telling you. I hate it, but there's no situation where they end up in Gaza. The Palestinians are out of there, and probably in the West Bank too. They're probably out of the entire state of Israel. That's just the direction this is heading, and I don't see what could happen to stop it at all. So
So yeah, somebody's got to step in, and it's not us at this point. I don't understand why.
nobody else has the power to step in. If it's not us, it's not happening.
Another thing I heard today, and I didn't fact check it or anything, but I heard that. So remember there was like protests in Israel, like when the war kind of like maybe a year into the war or whatever. There was like protests in Israel. Some of the Israeli settlers in Israel were protesting their government.
Yeah, so that was before the war started. There were protests daily for Netanyahu. They wanted Netanyahu out of office. He had a terrible approval rating, and then October 7th actually like saved him. Like if October 7th had never happened, he would have been probably forced out of office. There's that whole
Okay.
rally around the flag thing that happens when a country
Yeah.
gets attacked, and everybody rallied around Netanyahu, and now he's safe. But he was in trouble.
But even after October 7th, there were protests in the streets. And I heard I think it was Cenk that was talking about it, but those protests were actually the people wanted Israel to be able to grape the Palestinians because they were trying to stop them, and like
It's
that was what the
interesting.
protest was.
It's interesting because at first it was protests that, Netanyahu stinks, blah, blah, blah. And then after October 7th, the majority of Israelis are mad that they're not going at Gaza harder.
Right.
Like
And
the,
graping them.
the hatred between like Israel feels towards the Palestinians and the Palestinians feel towards the Jews. Like, I can't express it enough. Like, they both wish the other side was dead, like, not just out of there, like dead.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, so
yeah.
let's look at them as children, right?
Okay.
You got Egypt, you got Syria, you got all these different people,
Okay.
and there's one that doesn't get along with all, like the other ones kind of don't get along, but there's one child who doesn't get along with all the other children.
They call that being the common denominator.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you have children like that, don't you separate the children?
Yeah. Well,
So
and
why can't we just pick up Israel and be like, dude, you're not playing well with people. We're moving you. We're moving you to I don't know where it would take them. Somewhere in Australia, they got plenty of like desert.
There's no way that'll ever happen, and it's because that's the Holy Land, and like
This is so dumb.
I know,
That's
but
so
I'm
dumb.
just telling you what it
I
comes
know.
down to is like we America can't kick everybody out and take that over. If we could, we would, but like that would be a bad look for us.
Yeah.
So we would
Well,
rather
we,
the
we
Jew,
are. We're letting Israel do
yeah,
it. We're paying Israel to do it.
we would rather the Jews have it than the Muslims have it. I think there's a lot of people in America that the worst case scenario would be the Muslims retake that area. Like that, they can't imagine that. So if it comes
So,
down, it's either the Muslims or the Jews. I guess we want the Jews
so some
there.
goofy piece of land that your God, your loving God,
Mm.
is allowing you is making you kill, starve people so that you can hold on to a piece of land because it's the Mecca.
There's an old saying, more people have been killed in the name of God than for any other reason ever. Like I mean,
It's
that's where
true.
we're at. The funniest thing, I went and saw the new Superman, was this, a week and a half ago, something like that. Um, I had heard going into it that like, oh, it's got some real like Israel Palestine undertones, and like there were a lot of Jewish people like Ben Shapiro that were like really mad about the new Superman.
I heard
So
him talk about
so I was like, oh, I can't wait to see this. And like all it is there's a bad country that's trying to invade like a poor peasant country and kill everyone. Like that's it. And it's one of those where it's like, hey, Israel, if you saw that and you thought that was about you, that's a tell. Like that,
yeah, yeah,
that I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
nobody
If you
said
thought that was
Israel.
about you, then like yes, it
Yeah,
might you should probably
your
slow down a
conscience
little
is
bit.
getting to you there somehow. So it was
I
interesting.
also heard the right complain about it because um, they kind of put it in the light of Superman being from another country or another place,
He's an
and
immigrant.
he's an
So
immigrant. Yeah,
actually, that wasn't in the movie. The director, James Gunn, he in an interview said, "Well, Superman is an immigrant." Like, or he said what he said wasn't really that bad, but like the
yeah.
right got really mad about that. And,
So
I mean,
stupid.
technically, he is an illegal alien. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think he has citizenship? Did
No,
he go through
probably
the
not.
proper channels?
He'd be deported. Him and Jesus are out of here. Uh, So yeah. Anyhow, new Superman though was actually good. I don't like DC movies. I'm a Marvel guy, but the new Superman was good. It was corny good, is what I'll say. It was
Okay.
funny, so I give it credit on that. Yeah, Israel. I it's one of those where we can complain all we want, but like I think Israel's path is set. Like if this is the direction it's heading. They want to take more land. There's this whole Greater Israel thing, and I saw a map one time of what they consider to be Greater Israel, and it's basically something that's like 5 times the size of current Israel, but that's
Oh
their
my gosh.
goal. Yeah, so
Oh,
we have that to look forward to. Anyhow,
Greater Israel.
what well, what else was going on in New York? I think we got sidetracked there by Israel, but just Mamdani. I can't say his name. Just
Money.
him, which everybody is saying, oh, what he's saying is gonna upset the Jews, but it seems like the Jews in New York, they're kind of split. Like there's a
I think
good portion of them that like him.
most of America thinks that Israel is doing doing an atrocity, and that the United States is
Yeah,
right by their side doing it with them,
I still
which is
say
what's
this.
going on.
I hope this doesn't come out wrong, but like I'm a little upset I don't know any Jewish people. Like I always like when something like this happens, or like last week we had the Greg Gutfeld talking about the blacks, and it's like I want to be able to talk to a black guy and see if that is offensive or not. Like I always like to go to the source. Hey,
Sure.
I think this is offensive, but you're the one that matters. But like when it comes to Jewish stuff in Israel, like I don't know a single Jewish person. I should find one, but I think in Oklahoma they might not exist.
Yeah, you might be right.
Figure it out. We went to high school with one, and we're gonna track him down.
I
So.
mean, yeah. I think that like there's a poll. You don't even have to track anybody down. There's definitely a poll.
Yeah, I like to talk face to face.
I'm
Um,
afraid.
I feel like since we're talking Israel, this is a great segue into Epstein. Unless you have anything else on this, because I feel like the Epstein story is also the Israel story.
We're like the Epstein channel over here.
I'm gonna make tonight's quick because it's gonna lead into something fun. But we got to get through this a little bit. First of all, uh, you ever hear the expression "the cover up is worse than the crime"?
Oh yeah.
I think that's literally what's happening here because like I'll bet Trump's name is in there a handful of times and he doesn't like it. But if he would have just released it, he probably could have skated. His people would have looked at it and said, "Oh, well, here it says this, but blah blah blah," and they would have found a way to reason around
Unless
anything,
it's really bad.
unless it's really, which I'm starting to think it might be. Um, But people are not dropping this. I got the first clip of the night because we kind of talked about it last time. But the Wall Street Journal had that card from Trump to Epstein for his birthday.
Oh yeah.
We kind of read a part of it. Let's let Tim Dillon read the whole thing. This is Tim Dillon from his podcast.
Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Well, if that's Trump, not ideal, certainly in hindsight, you got to release everything you've got. He's supposedly suing Murdoch. He's suing the Wall Street Journal. You have to release everything you got. You're in a scandal that's about to engulf your presidency, that may already be engulfing the presidency.
He's good. He had Alex Jones on tonight.
Oh, Tim Dillon had Alex Jones on?
Oh yeah, they talked about all the Epstein stuff.
I will watch that.
I didn't like it because Tim Dillon didn't push anything back at all. He was actually like,
he admires Alex Jones.
completely.
Way back before Tim Dillon blew up, he used to go on the Rogan show a couple times, and he was talking about how like he thinks it's fascinating. Like he doesn't agree with Alex Jones, but he just thinks it's fascinating how he's captivated an audience. And he was saying like, I want to be an Alex Jones type. Like that's what he wanted to be. And then when he kind of started blowing up, and me watching it, I was like, oh, he's kind of doing an Alex Jones impression. Like he's mimicking Alex Jones, almost like the Colbert Report used to mimic Bill O'Reilly. Like the Tim Dillon show is it started as kind of being Alex Jonesy, and now he's kind of found his own lane. But that's what he originally was going for.
So during the interview, they would preface everything with, I'm not totally against Israel. Like, and then they would say something bad about Israel, and they did it like 10 times. It was wildly interesting to see that. And then I love how Alex Jones is always like, it's widely known that, and then he like spews out like like some bullshit information.
That's what Trump does that too, where he'll be like, well, everyone knows that, and then he'll say something that's totally not true, and it's like, well, hold on, wait, but okay, whatever.
Everyone knows that windmills kill birds.
Exactly. It's been proven that windmills kill birds. And I was like, well, Tucker Carlson does that too. Tucker Carlson does this thing where he'll say, well, we all know that this, and we all know that this, so this must be true. But it's like, well, hold on, the two things you just said are not true.
Right.
But that's he does it in a real sneaky way.
Yeah, Tucker's a sneaky guy for sure.
Snucker is talented. Tucker is talented, I will say.
He's a smart dude.
Did you see that Trump slipped up and admitted that he is in the Epstein files?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I'm going to play the clip real quick for anybody that didn't see it. But this was a fun one. This is from Real America's Voice.
They were run by Chris Wray, and they were run by Comey, and because it was actually even before that administration, right? They've been running these files. And so much of the things that we found were fake with me. So
obviously it looped at the end there, for the key part. But he quickly changed subjects after that.
Everything in the Epstein file with him is fake.
Well, and that's weird because that means that he and somebody reviewed it. They went through what I thought there was no Epstein file. Like, what are we doing here? It turns out it's all fake. So
and all those videos are just amateur porn.
Yeah, I know. They downloaded off the internet.
Yeah, download off the internet. Yeah,
what happens?
That's all it is.
69% of Americans say that the Epstein evidence is being hidden by the government. 6% say they're totally happy with it and they think they've released all they need to. It was like 35% don't have an opinion, which, man, I'd love to be one of those 35% that's like not.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be amazing.
So, but yeah, 69% of Americans are unhappy with what's being released. Now, Trump's approval rating has actually climbed among Republicans. Trump has a 90% approval rating among Republicans. It was like 80. It was 86 or 87 right before all this Epstein stuff started, and now it has climbed to 90. It's one of those we talked about, like rallying around the whatever. Yeah. Like his base is rallying around to support him. Now the base is going through mental gymnastics to figure out how can you blame Pam Bondi or Obama or Comey or whoever.
Trump's not letting him blame Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is safe.
they so badly want to blame somebody else, and he's basically going, no, 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 this is me. And like they're like, he's just saying that. Don't blame him. And they're trying to
Right.
find a way around it. But we got a couple people in the House, Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna started a bill. They're trying to do what's called a discharge petition. For a discharge petition, if they get 218 congressmen to sign on to this, then they can bypass the House leadership and just get a bill straight to the floor. Because right now, the Speaker, Mike Johnson, is not allowing. In fact, Mike Johnson said today he's not going to do a vote on Epstein until after the August recess. The August recess is 5 weeks long. This is like their summer break. So they're gonna leave Washington for 5 weeks, and he said after that we'll talk about it. Clearly,
they get 5 weeks vacation.
They get several different recesses. This is
Yeah.
the August one, but yeah, they don't. They get a lot of time off. Now, I've said this before, but originally that was supposed to be back. Think way back in the day when it was harder to travel to Washington D.C. That was meant so that your representatives could ride a horse all the way back to wherever state they
Sure.
came from, and then meet with their constituents and figure out what the people want, and then ride their horse all the way back to Washington
And vote.
We don't need that now.
No.
But that and a lot of them just don't do town halls or anything anymore. They just go home and relax. Like they don't go out and actually talk to the people.
Yeah,
So
especially the Republicans right now.
they're hiding. So anyhow, if they can get the 218 signatures before everybody leaves for the August recess, we'll get a vote. If not, I guarantee you the plan, Mike Johnson and Trump are working together here, and they're hoping that, hey, if we kick it down the road 5 weeks, then we can distract them. Like something else will come up and people will forget about Epstein. That's what they're hoping.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure people are going to forget about Epstein. I mean, the podcast, like the podcast bros that were so crucial to Trump getting elected, like they're not letting it die.
We have to keep talking about it. Everybody has to just keep talking about it.
What's funny is Rogan has said the least. Rogan has kind of made some comments, but he's not going on and on about it. Andrew Schultz, Tim Dillon, Shane Gillis, even. I don't know if you saw the ESPYs the other night, but Shane Gillis made a Trump Epstein joke.
Yeah.
I think this is my last clip on Epstein tonight. But this is from Shane Gillis's podcast last night.
You can't promise the list and go, guys, what are you worried about this list we promised you guys?
I know.
Like,
It's also so funny how clearly they got the list and went, guys, who even cares? Like they obviously the whole time leading up to it were like, fuck that, we're going to get that fucking list. And then one day they were like, what are we even talking about?
Also, you get the list and you go, me 7 times?
Me again? Son of a bitch.
I will say, when I was
Bro, that could have happened to anybody. Not on an Epstein list, but when it comes to like, I didn't do that.
Dude,
you go.
To be fair, when I was in grade school.
I did that. Son of a bitch.
So yeah, people aren't letting it die.
I mean, okay, so the thing that I watched today, they were talking about how, and this just, I mean, it all just really makes sense. Trump owned and ran and managed and was a judge in several different underage, miss, beautiful, whatever.
Yeah.
And like where the contestants were anywhere from 14 to 22.
Dude, I went down a rabbit hole on this over the weekend. Apparently modeling agencies, and I don't know if they still are, but there was a period of time where like modeling agencies were just sex trafficking. Like that's what they were used for.
Yeah.
When the Soviet Union fell in like 88, 89, like hot women from like Eastern Europe, like Ukraine and Romania and all that, were getting brought over here as models and being trafficked. I didn't know that Trump owned a modeling agency at one point. Like there's so many people connected to him and Epstein. I can't remember their names. What's funny is there's another guy that was friends with him and Epstein. It was a foreign name and I can't remember it, but he got caught doing exactly what Epstein did, and you'll never guess what happened to him. He killed himself in prison, and the cameras were also not working when that happened.
Oh, wow.
Total coincidence. I listened to some investigative reporters that have been covering this for like a decade. I listened to some podcasts with them on it, and so many weird. The guy that started Victoria's Secret, like Wexner, something Wexner. He was friends with all of them. He's got all these creepy trafficking stuff.
Melania came from.
Dude, I was listening to this one where Ivana Trump. That's his first wife, but
she was from Czech, right? Czech Republic.
No. So Ivana was. Oh, I don't know where she was from. Maybe she was. Melania is from Slovenia, maybe,
Hmm.
but I don't know where Ivana was from. But apparently, Ivana and Ghislaine were like BFFs for a long time. And I
Hmm.
listened to this interview with this lady who said that they were riding in the car one day and they went by a school when it was getting out, like a high school. And Ghislaine was like, stop the car, and got out and ran over to this group of girls and got all their phone numbers and then got back in. And this
Yeah.
girl was like so freaked out about it that they tried to like then give her gifts to like calm down her, and she was like, no, this is creepy. And this girl was saying that at the time, and this was in the 90s, she said everyone knew what was going on, like it wasn't a secret,
Yeah.
everyone
And
knew what they were doing.
Ivana was part of it. She was,
Yeah,
yeah, apparently, and that wasn't the only time. Like she would drive past schools just to get
she
out
would
and
go
get
by
numbers.
schools at the time they would let out and then stand out there and recruit girls, like.
What are we doing, people?
And but that
It's like sitting here and watching the Palestinians be starved to death.
yeah.
It's just
Well,
like
but
that. We can't do anything. We're not doing anything. What are we doing? Let's go.
see,
Let's
but
go.
with the
Get your shit
Palestinians, at
together.
least like the news is covering this and like we all see it. This was going on in a certain part of Florida, and like everyone in that circle knew damn well what was going on, but nobody talked about it. And like,
Uh,
I guess Trump he had all these models from an agency. They were ages 16 to 22. He had them over to Mar-a-Lago, and he billed it as, hey, I'm going to have all the top names in modeling and fashion here for you to meet. And then
Yeah.
when the girls got there, it was just Trump and Epstein. It was just those two. And the guy that brought them all was like, whoa, like you said that there were going to be like this was a networking thing. And Trump was just like, no, it's just me and Jeffrey. And that night, Trump went and tried to get in bed with a 22-year-old model. And
Yeah.
apparently she like kicked him out. And there was this whole, but like,
Oh.
this was common knowledge in the 90s that like Epstein and Trump were up to this. And like, there's still, I was going to say, there haven't been any credible reports of Trump with an underage girl. But there is that one Katie Johnson girl or whatever that
Yeah.
sued. Anyhow,
She's
it's just
kind of
all creepy.
credible.
It's
But
all
did you hear? So he was on Howard Stern at one point, and they were like, "Well, do you like?" Robin was asking, "Do you have an age limit?" And she was kind of asking about like a top end age limit, and he was like, "Well, I wouldn't go 12 years old or something like
yeah. 12 is creepy, but 14 is
that."
that's what
What in the world are we doing?
that's
The
the thing
right
is
needs to know all this. How do we get this information to the right wingers?
that's the thing. There's been all those montages. There's one where he's at like the bottom of an escalator, and a cute little 10-year-old girl walks by, and he's like, "See that girl? I'm gonna be dating her in 10 years." And it's
What
like,
a creep!
what?
What a
And
creep!
the stuff that he said about his daughter on the talk shows, where he was talking about how he'd be dating his daughter, and
Yeah.
anyhow, the guy's
He's a creep.
he's interesting, is all I'm gonna say.
Ugh.
Yeah. So we got we got fun now. Last thing, real quick. Trump is suing the Wall Street Journal. We talked about that last time. I hadn't seen a figure. Clearly, he's trying to get them to settle. Like his whole thing is to try to sue people and get them to pay him to go away. $16 million like Paramount did. He's suing them for $10 billion, which is clearly he's trying to get a settlement. Now, I've heard a couple fun things about this, but if he goes through with this, not only does the Wall Street Journal and all them have to get deposed, but Trump would have to get deposed about his relationship with Epstein, like under oath. That
So they're gonna
is
take it to court.
never going to happen. Okay. The other fun thing.
What's going to happen? Hold on. What's going to happen?
Oh, he'll end up dropping. Either they'll settle
gonna
for a
drop
small
the
amount,
quote.
or he'll drop it. But he can't. I guarantee you, he cannot let it get to the point where this goes to trial because he would have to get deposed. Also, the White House today kicked out the Wall Street Journal reporter from the press pool. So
I didn't see
that's
that.
punishment. So first the Associated Press over the whole Gulf of America thing, and now, by the way, the whole Gulf of America thing kind of died. Like I haven't heard anybody talk about that in a while. I don't know what the maps say.
I don't know what the maps say.
I don't even want to look.
Yeah.
But there is a whole theory going around now. There's pictures of Trump with Ghislaine and Epstein and all that. But you know who there's a lot of pictures of Ghislaine Maxwell with?
Trump?
No, Rupert Murdoch, the head of Fox and the guy he owns Fox and the Wall Street Journal and the New York Post. So the Wall Street Journal is the one breaking all these stories, and apparently Rupert Murdoch and Ghislaine they go way back. They're buds. So the Wall Street Journal is suddenly getting all these exclusive stories, and we don't know where they're coming from. There's a theory that Ghislaine is basically trying to force her way into a pardon of like, I'm going to keep sending the Wall Street Journal this stuff.
I knew that was going to happen. I knew she's going to get what she wants.
The only way you can make this stop, Donald, is if you pardon me, and I'll go away and I'll shut up and I won't say anything else. But if you don't pardon me, I'm going to keep feeding stuff to the Wall Street Journal. That could be
How does he
happening.
navigate that?
If he
Because if he
her,
pardons her, he looks so guilty. Right? I mean, he just looks so guilty, but there's no proof.
I don't.
But if he doesn't pardon her, there's proof.
So I want to say that if he pardons her, the base will not stand for that. Like they will be up in arms. But I don't think that's true. I think that makes sense, but I think they'd find a way to justify it and be like, yeah, the Democrats set all this up and she was innocent the whole time or something. I don't know. Like,
oh my gosh.
He's in a weird spot with this whole Epstein thing. And again, I've said this many times. They caused this. Like, this is their own fault. They talked about the Epstein files nonstop. Now they're having to suffer from this. But
I mean, every day be another secret, Andy.
Exactly. A wonderful secret, I think.
A wonderful secret.
Alex Jones and Steve Bannon have settled on a theory because you know how they were doing the 3D chess and maybe Trump has this and he's leveraging the deep state with it.
Yeah.
The final theory they have is that they're going along with what Trump said, that clearly the Democrats have tinkered with these files. They've deleted certain stuff. They've added stuff. They're trying to frame Trump. So that's where they're at.
Stupid.
Mark Levin at Fox. Sorry, I forgot. We do have one more video on Epstein here, but Mark Levin at Fox, here's what he thinks we should do about this whole situation.
We have a lot to run on, and you have a lot to run against, given the other party. But I will tell you this. We better be united. We better be strong. We better be focused. We better be articulate. We can't waste our time on Epstein and other stuff that are going on here that some people want us to focus on. I've about had it with all that stuff. We better focus on who we are, what we're doing, where we want to take the country, and what they want to do to the country.
How do these people sleep at night?
We just can't. We got to move on. We can't focus on. This is a distraction that we cannot lose our focus on what matters. Do you know what matters, Docs?
Well, for Mark Levin, he wants Israel to take over all of Gaza.
Luckily, Trump has been telling us what matters. For like the last 4 or 5 days, Trump has been trying to change the subject.
Floods?
You know what matters?
Floods.
No, not floods. Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie O'Donnell should not have citizenship. I don't know if you've seen, but
I did hear that.
He's trying to revoke her citizenship.
Is she she's in Ireland or something?
Yeah, she left the country and went to Ireland. He wants to revoke her citizenship because she's saying mean things about him. Very un-American of her.
Oh my gosh.
You know what else matters more than Epstein?
Poor baby.
Guess just the Washington Commanders. The Washington Redskins was clearly a better name, and he even said that if they don't change it back to the Commanders, to the Redskins, he's going to block their new stadium in D.C.
Why? Why is he going on that hill? I mean, this is just distractions, right? These are all just stupid distractions.
It is. Another thing, just so you know, besides just in general, the liberal media, that's one distraction. But you won't believe this. The Department of Justice is reopening its investigation into Hillary's emails.
I heard that too.
Yeah. Hillary's emails will never die. So we're reopening that investigation. And then the big one, the Russia hoax. I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, but Tulsi Gabbard has got the goods on the Dems, man. The Dems.
Oh.
What did she call it? She called it a treasonous conspiracy.
Ooh.
I want to let Tulsi explain because this is big time. Okay, this is the nail in the coffin. This is Tulsi on Fox News.
It sounds serious.
It is.
What was the most damning thing that you learned after looking through all of these declassified documents?
Maria, the implications of this are frankly nothing short of historic. Over 100 documents that we released on Friday really detail and provide evidence of how this treasonous conspiracy was directed by President Obama just weeks before he was due to leave office, after President Trump had already gotten elected. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an issue that is so serious it should concern every single American because it has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic. What we saw occur here, as the documents we released detailed, was that we had a sitting president of the United States and his cabinet and leadership team, quite frankly, who were not happy with the fact that President Trump had won the election, that the American people had chosen Donald J. Trump to be the next president, commander-in-chief of the United States. And so they decided that they would do everything possible to try to undermine his ability to do what voters tasked President Trump to do. So creating this piece of manufactured intelligence that claims that Russia had helped Donald Trump get elected contradicted every other assessment that had been made previously in the months leading up to the election that said exactly the opposite, that Russia had neither the intent nor the capability to try to, quote unquote, hack the United States election for the presidency of the United States. So the effect of what President Obama and his senior national security team did was subvert the will of the American people, undermining our democratic republic, and enacting what would be essentially a years-long coup against President Trump, who was duly elected by the American people.
Yeah.
You following all that?
A little bit.
So
Kind of.
I'm going to try to tell you what I know about this. And I've read a lot of what Tulsi and the Republicans are trying to say here. So the main crux of their case is that there was a report given to Obama by his intelligence people, FBI, DNI, all them, saying that they have concluded that Russia did not hack the voting systems. They did not compromise the vote. And we knew that. I don't think that's really been alleged, that they got into the voting machine. And they said that. And then he asked them, okay, figure out how they were screwing with the election, basically. He put it way better than that. But they came to him first and said, hey, we've looked at it. They did not infiltrate our systems. And he said, okay, please figure out what's going on here. This is after Trump had won, but before Obama left office. There was a lot of, if we look back, there was a lot of shady stuff going on. Carter Page, who was, he was just somebody in Trump's campaign, but he was going around telling people that Russia is helping them in the election. I can't remember the other guy's name.
Well, that election was won on social media, right? The information that pulled Trump ahead and the vitriol and the fighting is what actually got Trump elected.
It helped.
And this last one, it was YouTube for sure. It was going on those YouTube channels, right? I mean, I remember that election and people were yelling at each other on Facebook, and I was like, Facebook had never been like that. Facebook was always hey, here's a picture of my kid. I remember I was I don't really get on Facebook because the older generation have found out about Facebook, and my grandma was on there and stuff, and nobody was really on there anymore besides people who are posting pictures of their kids so their grandma and their aunts can see them, right?
Yeah.
And then it just became just a cesspool for yelling and fighting and arguing and
I'll say this. I wouldn't say that for sure Russia tipped the scale in the election. Were they trying to assist Trump? Did they want Trump to win? Yes. And what's weird is we know that they were trying to help Trump and they wanted Trump to win. The reason we know that, the Senate Intelligence Committee that was run by Republicans, Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio were on this committee. They came out with a report that said exactly that. They said Russia tried to interfere. They wanted Trump to win. This was in 2017, I think, 2018. They came out with this. John Durham, I don't know if you remember that name, but Trump named a special counsel in 2018, 2019, somewhere around there, his first term, named a special counsel to get to the bottom of this because he feels like they spied on his campaign and all this stuff. And John Durham came up with basically the same conclusion. They didn't hack the vote, but they were trying to help Trump. I think John Durham got one FBI agent, basically got a slap on the wrist of charges, and it was he filled out a FISA form. He either filled it out incorrectly or he lied on it, one way or another. But that had to do with the surveillance of Carter Page, who, again, there was Carter Page and there was one other guy, and I can't. The one other guy got drunk. He was at a bar somewhere, and there was an Australian diplomat there, and he got drunk at this bar and started bragging that, Russia's helping us, blah, blah, blah. And the Australian diplomat went to the Americans and said, hey, this guy just got drunk and told me all this. So they started watching that, spying on that guy, whatever you want to call it. But that was the original origins of all this, was we had two lower-level guys that were part of the campaign that kept shooting their mouth off, saying, Russia is helping us. So
it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. I will buy that hook, line, sinker because I think that's what happened. And I think a lot of it was social media. Remember, there's all those bots that were pitting people against it. You had that they were putting a pro-abortion and an anti-abortion rally right across the street from each other. That
wasn't bots though. A lot has evolved in the last 10 years. Now they got bots doing it. Back then it was rooms full of people working multiple social media
in
account,
Russia and
basically.
China, right?
Yeah, they actually, there's a whole report about it. They found the building where all this happened in. Like,
Oh.
Russia did it for so little money. They put like 30 grand or something into doing this. The amount the amount of return on their investment was phenomenal. Like, it was a good move on their part. But they just had a lot of people just starting crap. Like you just said, they would have a pro-abortion rally on one street corner, and then directly across the street have a pro-life rally at the same date and time in some little city in America, and just let the people fight. And it actually was a really solid plan. You have to give them props for what they did.
Well, we're dumb and we listen to social media way too much.
We're easily manipulated.
Easily manipulated. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm watching because Fox News, they're trying to get the momentum. They want this to be the story. This is 100%. This is a distraction from Epstein. Obama. They're talking about Obama's going to go to jail. Trump is putting videos on True Social, AI videos of Obama being handcuffed and walked into jail. They want Obama. They want Clapper. They want Brennan. They want Comey. And even Chris Wray. They keep blaming Chris Wray for all this. And Trump.
Yeah, they had a whole
Chris
photo,
Ray.
a whole lineup of them. Orange jumpsuits.
He did
and then Obama or Trump put up that video of him of Obama getting arrested and Trump just sitting there laughing, and then Obama in jail. And there is something menacing about that, just him putting that video up. But what I heard the most, controversy about it was that he had no disclaimer.
Okay, like he could get in legal trouble for not having a disclaimer on it.
It should say this was made by AI. This is not real, or
okay,
something along those lines. And he had no disclaimer, which I think it's just atrocious that he actually put that video up on his social media.
Based off all the other stuff he's posted, I'm not really in shock over that.
But this is just another distraction from the Epstein shit.
You know what it is, honestly? The people around Trump haven't learned from Epstein. Like, they overpromised on the Hillary's emails the first time. Like, we're going to lock her up, Hillary's emails. The Clintons are so corrupt. And then when Trump got into office, he told Bill Barr and the Department of Justice to, find anything they can charge Hillary with. And Bill Barr had to go back to him like 3 different times and say, sir, we don't have anything. They haven't done anything illegal. We can't do it. And I'm sure there's been more, but Hillary's emails are the main one I can think of. We have, I guess, the whole Durham investigation was supposed to result in all these people going to jail, all Comey and Brennan and Clapper and all them. Mm-hmm. Nothing happened there. Then we got Epstein, where all these Democrats are going to go to jail for this, and nothing's happening. And now they're over-promising on this new, I'm going to call it the Tulsi Gabbard investigation. I don't know what else to call it. But I guarantee you, 4 years from now, whenever we have our next president, Obama's not going to be in jail. Comey's not going to be in jail. Like, I'm going to say that nobody's even going to get charges brought. Like, this will go nowhere. They'll probably try to draw this out as long as they can. And anytime anybody says the name Epstein, they're going to go, oh, but what about Obama and the Russia hoax? And they're going to try to use that. Nothing's going to happen. I hope MAGA doesn't get their hopes up again to get crushed.
The craziest thing is Trump should be in jail right now, not the president of the United States.
Yeah, I mean, he did commit a couple crimes. Well,
felonies.
A couple low-level crimes.
It sounds like he's got more with these his modeling agency.
That's what's creepy real quick about the whole modeling agency thing is there were women, and I've heard women on podcasts that say they went to the FBI about Trump and Epstein, and like either the FBI just never investigated it, which would be a scandal, or they did investigate it and decided not to act on it for whatever, maybe because Epstein was intelligence. I don't know. But there are women that are on record saying they went to the FBI and said, hey, look what's going on here. And then nothing happened. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's crazy, man. What a crazy time we live in.
We live in a crazy time. So I don't know. Yeah, I think that's about all I got on Epstein tonight. I'd love to keep talking about it, but.
Did you watch any of the Mehdi Hassan versus the 20 far right?
That's those things that you watch and it's not healthy for you and you should stop watching it, but you just keep watching it. It's called Jubilee, I think. I've watched a bunch of those, and the Mehdi Hassan was probably the one that made me the most sad. Like, just sad for the state of our country. There were I almost pulled clips from that, but I didn't want to do it.
That one guy was just like, Mehdi Hassan was like, that's a fascist statement.
I am a
And
fascist.
he's like, yeah, he basically just admitted he was a
He
fascist.
said he's a fascist, and like half the crowd was like, yeah. And it's like, oh
Well,
God.
that's the right now. They want fascism. They want Daddy Trump.
I think the first one of those I saw was your guy on the Majority Report. What's his name?
Sam Cedar.
I watched Sam Cedar do it, and I didn't really know what I was watching. I was like, what is this here? And then I've watched several since then, and yeah, they're all cringe, but the Mehdi Hassan one, and I don't necessarily like Mehdi Hassan. Like, he's not one of my main guys. Yeah, I don't know enough about him. I don't like or dislike him. I don't know a lot about him. But man,
I think he's a good voice for the left. He's a very good voice for the left.
Well, and they were attacking most of the clips I saw had to do with immigrants. And it was just funny. Like, there was one girl that was like, well, my parents were immigrants, but they're citizens now. And he was like, well, that's right. Like, immigrants become naturalized and become citizens. She was like, no, well, my parents are Americans. And he's like, but they were immigrants, right? And she's like, no, they're citizens. And he's like, but you just said they were immigrants. She's like, well, yeah, they were immigrants, but now he's like, yeah, that's how it works. And it was so frustrating to watch. Yeah, I wish they would do away with that show because I can't stop watching it when it comes out.
It's a train wreck and it's great.
Yeah, it's like watching reality TV for me. Like, I just hate it, but I can't stop. Anyhow, the only other thing, let me see what else I got here tonight. You want to talk a little inflation, tariffs, soaring prices?
Oh, did we get another deal?
We have no new deals. In fact, they stopped sending letters this week. Last week, they said that they were like, yeah, we're going to send like 12 letters this week, and next week we're going to send more letters. And like, we just stopped sending letters. So I guess if you didn't get a letter, then 10%, I guess, is what you're at. So Howard Lutnick.
Okay. There's got to be more to like just, 10%, check, 10%, check, 10% check. There's got to be more to that, right?
I don't know. I don't think so at this point.
That's just how he's going to do it?
I mean, it's 10%, or you get a letter telling you it's more than 10%.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we'll get
this is like a one-sided deal.
Yeah.
Like, if I was like, let's just say I was the leader of Germany, I would just send him a letter back saying like, okay, and then just make it like super complicated. Be like, yeah, we're doing 22.5% on auto bills. We're doing 11.6% on this. We're doing 55% on your rice. We're doing like just
so if you had
really complex.
I'm guessing you haven't read any of these letters, Docs. Is
that
true?
I haven't. Do you have any? Have you read them?
I've read them. So in the letter, in every letter, it states that if they dare retaliate with tariffs of their own, then the tariffs are going to go up like exponentially, or I can't remember the language in it. But he says it always says, congratulations, you have been selected to trade in America or something. It's like, because of our great relationship, we've decided to let you do business in America. That's basically what it says. And then it gives instructions for like, if you dare retaliate, here's what's going to happen.
Interesting.
Yeah. I want to see if I can find an example.
Congratulations, Sweden.
It's pretty much what it says. Hold on. Trump.
I mean, what are we doing, man? This is comical, and yet the world around us is going to just implode. Oh, I got really tricked the other day. So have you heard anything about Yellowstone?
Oh, no, what happened to Yellowstone?
So there was like, I got a few different like swipes on Instagram that were saying that Yellowstone, like all the animals were like leaving Yellowstone in droves. And like it's a telltale sign that Yellowstone's about to blow. Like, there's like a giant volcano under Yellowstone.
Yeah,
like,
the animals always see that first, and that's like our indication. Like when there's a tsunami coming in and all the animals start leaving the beach, and we're like, where are they going? And then it turns out they were onto something.
I saw it and I was like worried. I was like, oh no, what do I do? Like I'm gonna have to like go to the tip of Florida to like stay safe, or down in Mexico or something. I was just like, my mind was like racing, like, how do I get out of this? And then like I was telling somebody else about it, and then I was like, wait a second, that didn't really seem. I better look into this. And I like did a quick research, and it was like, yeah, this isn't real. This is a hoax.
Docs, I need to say this to you. First of all, I love you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You're getting fooled on the internet as much as someone on the right recently. Last time we had a look at all the images. You're like, no, I keep seeing all these images of Trump with underage girls. And then we looked into it, and it turned out that I think all of them were AI. They were not real. Now
they have my algorithm, and
you are just as bad as an old person on Facebook. I swear. Hey, real quick, I found an example of a trade letter. I got to lean forward here to read this because it's small, but this is the trade letter to Japan. Dear Mr. Prime Minister, it is my great honor to send you this letter in that it demonstrates the strength and commitment of our trading relationship and the fact that the United States of America has agreed to continue working with Japan, despite having a significant trade deficit with your country. Nevertheless, we have decided to move forward with you, but only with a more balanced and fair trade. Therefore, we invite you to participate in the extraordinary economy of the United States, the #1 market in the world, by far. He goes, that's where he starts. But it is my great honor to send you this letter. Like, you've been invited to join the greatest economy ever. So yeah, that's how all these are. But at the end, it always says, if you dare retaliate, then we're raising it in a hurry.
So they want Japan to buy more of our stuff.
He's really mad that with Japan, he's mad that they don't buy our rice and they don't buy our cars.
Why would they buy our rice? So do we even make rice? We don't have rice.
We do make rice and soybeans.
Where? Yeah, we do a lot of soybeans. That's in Kentucky.
No, it's like up in Iowa or something. We do soybeans. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
There's a lot in Kentucky too.
Yeah, but they've said that they have said that they do not want our food because we put all the chemicals and additives in it, and they don't like that. They've said that they're open to us on cars. Their people just don't buy our cars because their streets and their parking spots and all that are smaller in Japan. You can't drive an F-150 up and down the streets of Japan and park. Like, it's just not how it goes.
No, and we talked about this last time. Why would you buy a Chevy that's only going to last 100,000 miles when you can buy a Honda or a Toyota that's going to last you 300,000 miles? Like,
first of all, let's use Ford as an example because I'm a Chevy man and I don't want you talking bad about Chevy.
Ford has a better
like a rock, buddy. Like a rock, okay? As strong as they can be. Yeah, no, if you live in Japan, you're not clamoring for the new Ford or Chevy. Like, you've got good cars there. So that's what it comes down to is like we don't make a lot in America, and what we do make costs more because we have a minimum wage and all that. Yeah. And like Trump's really mad that they don't buy our stuff. Generally, you can get it cheaper made in other countries. That's why people don't buy our stuff. So that's why we buy stuff from other countries, because you can get something made in China or Mexico a lot cheaper than you can get the equivalent item made in America.
Right, and that's why we outsource all of our production.
That's why we
in Mexico and
we like made a conscious move where we shifted from being a manufacturing economy to being a service economy. Like, what that means is instead of everybody working in sweatshops and factories and all that, we have a lot of people working desk jobs, working the phones. Like, it's worked out well for us. Like, it really has. Now AI is about to screw all that up. But overall, like, 50 years ago, the average dude got up every day and grabbed his lunch pail and went to work in a factory where life sucked. Nowadays, the average dude gets up and drives to an office space where he sits in a cubicle and life still sucks, but at least he's not going to die in a horrible factory accident. Like, that's kind of where we're at today. Soon AI will take all of our jobs.
Healthcare.
Say that again. What?
He's going to die because he doesn't have healthcare.
Yeah, well, healthcare.
But Israel has healthcare.
Yeah. Healthcare is only for people that deserve it, docs. And I'm sorry, but poor people don't deserve it. I don't know if you're aware.
Poor people don't deserve healthcare. Fine.
Yeah, I keep seeing videos where people on the right are like, I don't know where people get this thought that healthcare is a basic right. And it's like, you know what? I don't even want to argue whether it's a basic right or not. Like, it's the right thing to do. If you're the richest country on earth, you shouldn't have people going broke it's not the people going broke because of medical debt is one thing, but you have other people dying because they know there's something wrong, but they just can't afford to go to the hospital. Like, that's the part. I've been in that situation a bunch. Luckily I'm alive still, but like, even my knee has been bothering me for 2 months, and like, I need to go get it checked out, but also I'm like, I'm going to have to go to my main doctor, and then I'm going to get a referral, then I'm going to have to go to a specialist, then I'm going to have to go get an x-ray, then I'm going to have to go back to the specialist. And like, every one of those is money. And like, it's going to take,
it's because our system's like screwed up. We don't have a great system for this.
It's going to take 7 appointments for me to figure out what's wrong with my knee. And I don't want to know what that'll cost, but it's annoying.
It's horrible. So we do grow rice. Arkansas is leading the production of rice.
Arkansas.
California, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, and Texas also grow rice.
Okay. We can get a job working in them rice paddies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
get one of those cool hats.
Yep. So prices are going up. We talked about the price of beef last time, but I just want to throw a quick video up on this because I saw it today and I wanted to throw it in here. But this is from CNN.
Wolf, new this morning, more soaring prices at the grocery store, but it's not eggs draining your wallet this summer. The Department of Agriculture says the cost of beef is hitting record highs across the country. Let's go to CNN business and politics correspondent Vanessa Yurkevich. Vanessa, break down these numbers for us.
Yeah, the last time that Americans may have noticed sticker shock at the grocery store was when eggs were at record prices. Since then, they have come down because the avian flu, which was killing millions of birds, has been contained and supply is now back up. But it's a different story for beef. Just look at prices since January, up 9%. And beef is retailing at the grocery store for, on average, $9.26 a pound. And that is a dramatic increase since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed it at my grocery store. It's expensive. Like a little steak is like $20 now.
Here's my thing, right? It's up 10% right now. Which 10% is not nice. I don't want to pay 10% more for anything, but it's not dramatic. Okay, eggs ended up being up like 60% at one point or something. It was something ridiculous.
100%.
100%. Yeah, they doubled, whatever it was. Okay, so we're not there yet, but all the people that were talking about, like whenever we were coming up to the election, I mean, Kamala or Trump, what should we do? And everybody, the price of eggs. How often did I hear about the price of eggs? Okay, those people better be pretty loud about the price of red meat if it gets to that point. It's not there yet. I'm just saying. But if prices go through the roof on certain items and all the Trump voters just go, well, and they just don't mention it, I'm going to lose it. Okay, so if you were mad about the price of eggs, you should also be mad about other prices going up.
Why is red meat going up so high?
So I've seen a couple theories on it. One, we import a lot of red meat. We don't get all of our red meat from here. There's a 10% tariff on anything coming into this country, meat included. So that's
Argentina.
one of them. Yeah, like Brazil and Argentina and places like that, apparently we get meat from.
Brazil has 50% tariffs?
50% starting August 1st. Not yet.
Okay.
August 1st.
That's coming up.
But then also, and this isn't, I don't know if it's got to be red meat too, but how many articles have you seen recently or videos of these meat packing and meat processing plants getting raided and the illegals getting kicked out? So like that cheap labor, like there's a deal over, and I'm right next to Arkansas, and they signed a law to let like 12-year-old kids work overnight shifts, and it was because of these like chicken plants where.
Are kids really working that?
I believe so.
Like they signed a law. Is that actually happening?
Dude, Sarah Huckabee Sanders signed it, and there was all these like 12-year-old kids behind her wearing suit and ties.
Yeah.
But yeah, they signed that into law.
Miserable.
Yeah, because believe it or not, they already had rules where 12-year-olds were allowed to work, but they had to be off work by like 9 p.m. on school nights, and they could only work a certain amount of hours a week. And she signed a law rolling all that back to where like they can work. 12-year-old can work anytime they want. Basically, is what's going on in Arkansas now. So they did that because
Florida too, right?
I don't know about Florida. I think Florida's aren't as bad as Arkansas, but Arkansas had a huge worker shortage, and then they have apparently chicken farms and all that all over Arkansas. When I drive over to that area, like you go by all these there are these barns that have like really low sidewalls, and they're all really low to the ground, and it's chickens galore in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't have enough people to work in there, so they tapped the potential of the youth.
I mean, how many parents are letting their kids work? This is. Has anybody done a story on this? Because I would love to see.
I'll pull a clip for next time. But yes, there have been stories, and a lot of the people are basically saying, well, the economy, the Biden economy got so bad that even with me and my husband's income, we couldn't make ends meet, so we had to put our 12-year-old to work just to make the bills meet, and it's Joe Biden's fault. Like that was kind of the gist of most of the videos I saw. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And so that kid has to go to school. And then when he gets out of school, he goes to work till midnight.
I wouldn't presume that he has to go to school. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he some kids are going to work in the chicken plants anyway. You might as well just get them started early so they have time for promotion.
Everything we are doing in this country is like, it's just going to bite us so hard later on.
It very well could.
It's all just going to take us so hard.
The inflation has only gone up. Realistically, inflation's gone up 0.6 or 0.7 since Trump took office. It went from like 2.1 to 2.9 we're at now, or we're at 2.7 now, I think.
But it was going down under Biden.
It was going down.
Consistently going down, and then Trump took over, and now it's going back up.
So it's gone from 2.1 to 2.7, I think is what it was since Trump took office.
You can realistically say that the inflation is Trump's fault right now.
Well, here's what we could say. Would you agree that that's one of the main things Trump ran on was he's going to bring prices down? He's going to fix the affordability crisis. Does that sound?
Yeah, but would you agree that he doesn't know what he's doing?
Well, let's not guess as to whether or not he knows what he's doing. Let's just look at the facts we have in front of us, okay?
Okay.
What bill or legislation or program, name something Trump has done that would directly cause prices to go down?
Immigration.
No, that makes them go up. Something
go down?
Yeah,
Oh,
what
no,
has he done to help fix inflation?
Oh, nothing.
00. Like there's been no official proclamations or legislation, nothing to deal. You could make an argument that the big beautiful bill, the immigration raids for sure, the tariffs, Jesus God, everything he's doing will make prices go up, not down.
Yeah.
So that's one. If I were to list like the 2 or 3 things that Trump ran on, it would be the cost of living, price of inflation, in general, the economy, immigration, the economy. What else? What's the other main?
Tariffs.
No, I mean, nobody really liked the idea of tariffs. In fact, most people said, "Oh, he's not going to do the tariffs."
But I heard people. Yeah, I heard people say that we needed tariffs to. I mean,
I think that was a small
repeating
majority.
what he was saying, but they need tariffs to, and we're bringing in money with tariffs, which is interesting.
We're bringing in money, or we're raising taxes on Americans.
We're raising taxes
on
Americans.
The federal government's taking in more of our money, like they're taking in.
So it's a tax on the American people.
Yeah. So they raise taxes. They raise taxes on everybody to cover the lowering of taxes on the billionaires. Is what really we're looking at here. So,
and it's still not going to cover the debt that they're going to go into for this.
No, in fact, the CBO rescored the bill after Trump's rescissions. Ooh, sorry, I'm going to tell you that in a second. They rescored the bill, and it is adding slightly more to the deficit than they originally scored it at. They factor in some other stuff. Remember how Lisa Murkowski, the senator from Alaska, made all those deals to like get special things for Alaska to have certain things? Apparently, Trump figured out a way to basically screw her on all that, so she's not getting any of that now. Yeah,
Wow, what? Why?
I can't remember. I read this yesterday, but there's a quote from her in that where she says, "Well, I feel like I'm being screwed here," and it's like, "Yeah, no, you are." And you also didn't give a crap about the other 49 states, so I don't know how bad I feel.
She screwed everybody else, and now you're getting what you deserve. Yeah.
Yeah. So Trump has found a way. So anyhow, good on you. Which he really needs to watch what he's doing, because doing that to her. Good luck the next time you need her or Susan Collins on your side, because they're not going to do it. But then also the whole rescissions thing, like good luck getting any Democrats to vote for your next budget, whatever.
It's crazy. It's crazy that like all these Republicans came out and they're like, "This is a horrible bill. I can't vote for this bill." But when it says comes time to sign that bill, they're yay.
They did it, and they even said, "Well, I don't like it, but what they kept saying is if we don't do it, then the tax cuts are going to expire, and we can't have that." No, you could have just done the tax cuts by themselves. That was a very easy thing you could have done, but
or let the tax cuts expire.
They couldn't. Here's the thing:
raise taxes on the rich.
They should have let the tax. They should have adjusted the top tax bracket, but kept the lower and middle class tax cuts where they were, but then adjusted the upper.
That is smart economics right there.
You
raise taxes on the rich and you lower it on the wealthy.
Yeah.
That's how you get a good economy, and they did the absolute opposite.
My only point is everything they're doing will only raise prices, and I can't think of a thing they've done. And what Trump would tell you, if Trump was here right now, Trump would say, "Well, drill, baby, drill. By raising our energy exports, we are then creating lower costs because the cost to transport goods and this and that." That's what he would tell you. But as much as he says drill, baby, drill, we were exporting an all-time high or drilling an all-time high under Biden, and it really hasn't gone up under Trump. So we're still doing exactly what Biden was doing there.
Yeah, and drill, baby, drill, like the oil companies don't like that at all. Like, they have a very like even keel. Like if gas stays at a certain level, they're making great money. If it goes up, they're losing money. If it goes down, they're losing money. Like they need to keep it really even, and they have a very intricate system on doing that.
It's a balance, and that's why like countries in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia or Qatar, every now and then they'll fuck with everybody else, and they'll release more oil than they normally do, and that drives the price down because supply and demand. And then American companies, we normally get really upset. No, they're releasing too much, and now the value's going down, and we're not making enough. And there's been times where America, and Trump's done it, but I guarantee you Democratic presidents have done it. Trump just tells us about it for whatever reason. But Trump told us in his first term that he's like, yeah, I had to call them and tell them to stop releasing so much oil. The price is going down too far, and they need to get the price back up. And it's like, that directly translates to what we're paying at the pump. Like, he basically said, price at the pump is too low. Stop releasing so it goes back up. And like I said, I'll bet Democrats have done it too, but they never tell the public. Yeah, we need prices to go back up on that. So
yeah, and I mean, what a nightmare.
Real quick, Howard Nutlick was on I think it was ABC. Did I say Nutlick?
Yeah,
Lutnick. Sorry, Howard Lutnick. Remember how they were trying to say that tariffs are they're not going to cost Americans any money. The foreign country pays the tariff, all that. They're kind of backing away from that now. So I'll let him explain here. I think he's with it's Margaret Brennan or somebody. Check this out.
And American corporations are just going to swallow that and not pass that price increase on to consumers? What's your projection?
What's so interesting is that you're worried about the importers. How about the people who build and employ Americans
No, I'm
here?
asking about people who go to the store
People who
to
make cars here, people who manufacture here. They don't pay a tariff. They don't pay a tariff at all. So President Trump says it all the time. Build in America, you don't pay a tariff. The idea that these importers are more important than the people who employ Americans, I think it's just a wrong way of thinking about it. Americans deserve to be employed here and have the best jobs in the world, and that's what Donald Trump is trying to deliver.
I was asking about consumer prices, what people will pay when they go to the store. But since you don't want to answer...
I think they'll be low. I think they'll be low, shockingly low.
Okay. The consumer price index doesn't currently reflect that, though. The trend is towards higher.
Well, it just went up. What did it go up? 0.1%? Look, the dollar has declined
0.2 on the core.
More than 10%, right? So the dollar declining sort of softens tariffs completely. These are small numbers. You're going to see inflation is not going to change.
Is he an idiot? Does he really believe what he's saying?
So I have so much I want to say about that. First of all, prices aren't going up. Okay, what's going to happen? They're going to go low. What's going to cause them to go low? You're adding a tariff, which is going to cause it to be more expensive. Tell me what mechanism is going to make the price go lower than it currently is, because none of this makes sense to me. Also, the devaluing of the dollar is legit like a bad thing for America. Like, this is not good. And he's like, well, the good news is the dollar is going down, so it's almost like the price isn't even going up. And it's like,
he said that.
He said, well, he didn't say the good news is. He said the value of the dollar is going down, so it all kind of evens out.
Oh, God.
No,
that's the opposite. If the dollar goes down and prices go up, you're paying even more for that product.
I don't know that. He might be right. I don't know if you're right or he's right there. I'm not an economist.
Okay.
I just know that the value of the dollar going down. I keep hearing smart economists talk about.
Okay, hold on. If you have, let's just say you have $2.
Okay.
And the value of those dollars, actually 2 really only equals 1, but your prices are going up.
What you're saying makes sense. I don't even want to try to figure out the economy side of
the
this.
The dollar's going down. Yay.
Yeah. So,
and this is the problem with Republicans, is all they want to do is support and fund big businesses.
Yeah.
And incorporate slavery with every other citizen.
That's what. So talking to a guy the other day, and he was saying that we were talking about AOC for whatever reason, and he was like, I like her. She just hasn't put in her time. Like, she doesn't have as impressive a resume as he wants her to have. Like, she was a bartender, congressman, and then the next jump would either be vice president or president. He thinks she should put in her time, be in the Senate, this and that. And then we were talking about how, like, most Republicans that run for office are former CEOs. And like, then you start looking at it, it's like, oh, they're former CEOs that like have large stock holdings in these companies that they would benefit if these companies do well. And it's like, I liked like the Mark Cuban thing. It's like, hey, I'm not against a CEO running America. Like, if you can run a company, you can run a country theoretically. I think that's
you don't run a country like you run a company.
They're two total, and Trump had to figure that out the hard way. But
he hasn't figured it out yet.
He probably hasn't. But that was part of the appeal for Trump was, people were saying He was a good CEO, which
and he wasn't. He
I know,
bankrupted
but
7 companies, and
if he can run all these companies, then he can run America.
he
But, like,
ran all the companies into the ground, and now he's running America into the ground.
yeah,
This
I
is
mean,
the problem.
he's the self-proclaimed king of debt, and it's like you can't do that with a country, man. But that's the problem is though you get like all these former CEOs and billionaires, and I'll take that back. I don't know that there's any billionaire senators or congressmen. I don't think there are. But let's just say millionaires.
His whole cabinet. How many? We did the research the other day. It was like 13 of the cabinet members.
Several of them.
Billionaires.
But let's just say of elected representatives under like Senate and Congress, basically, like you've got a bunch of millionaires that are also former CEOs with large stock holdings. Like, yeah, they're going to make sure that everything that passes benefits them. Like, that's just the way it is. So always look out for number one.
Huh.
Scary.
Okay.
So I do have, real quick on that note, shout out of the week. There was a dude that went on the Joe Rogan podcast this week who I've seen many clips of. His name is James Tallarico, maybe? I'm going to look while I might have just butchered that name.
Dude, did you know that your House member, Kevin Hearn, is the richest Congress member?
Really? What did he do, I wonder?
361 million.
Any idea what he did before he was? Probably oil. We're in Oklahoma, so I'm going to say oil.
There's a channel that return.
Where's this guy's name? Hold on.
McDonald's franchises.
Okay, get rich off the McDonald's. So feeding people crap food. Yeah.
Wow.
James Tallarico. He was on Rogan. He's a Texas Democrat who's very, very Christian. And even though he's very Christian, like he was the one fighting against the 10 Commandments in schools and all that stuff. Like he did a great job for the Democratic Party of like showing that like, hey, like Democrats aren't crazy and like they have some good points on stuff. And like even Joe Rogan at one point was like, you need to run for president, which he doesn't yet. He's a Texas Congress member. But good job on him. Overall, I don't know if you've noticed, the left is trying to take back the podcast area. They're going on with Andrew Schultz. They're going on with Rogan. They're going on with Theo Vaughn. Like, and it's just a couple of them, but like Ro Khanna is killing it. Bernie's been doing it for a while, but like they're out there. Pete went on a couple of them, so they need.
I'd like to see more of them. I'd like to see all of them do podcasts.
The problem is if you only listen to the Bro podcast and watch Fox News, like we joke around about it all the time, but Tucker Carlson would be like, okay, and now we're going to have on a Democrat to talk about this. And he would bring on the dumbest California Democrat you could imagine. And then basically be like, well, this is what all Democrats think. And it's like, no, that guy's a moron. Like, But so if you only get your information from certain places, you think that Democrats believe the weirdest shit. Like, just like you think of MAGA, they think that way about the left. And
but I'm not wrong about MAGA.
They don't think they're wrong either, is all I'm going to say. Okay. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying both of y'all think you're right. That's all I'm saying. There is an in between. Okay.
Is there?
Yeah.
On what issue? There's an in between on what issue?
I tell you, I'm just saying on the kind of people we're talking about here. I hang out and talk to
Your problem is you never want to talk about the issues, Andy.
It's not the issues. And that's the thing is, there's a lot of single issue voters out there. There's a lot of them that like
for the longest time you claimed I'm still a Republican. And I was like, what are the issues that you like? What are the policies that you like with the Republicans have? And you never answered me. Not one answer for the first like 30 or 40 episodes.
I've told you ever since I've known, not ever since I've known you, but ever since we started talking politics like this, small government, control your borders. Fiscally responsible, meaning
you've never said control your borders.
No, I've told you that I was not happy with the way the borders were going under Biden.
Okay.
Like I don't think the borders should be closed. I think we need an immigration bill. I think we need to make it easier for people to get on paper when they come into this country and get a job. And you have to have a job and be paying taxes, or we're going to kick you out. But you have to be an upstanding member. But small government, I want smaller government if possible. Like there are certain areas.
What are you going to cut?
I think there is a lot of like the whole thing that Elon was trying to do with Doge, with cutting out the waste, fraud, and abuse. Like I don't think there's a lot of fraud and abuse necessarily. Clearly, there's not because Elon couldn't find any. But we have like if you just look at how much the federal government has grown in the last, I think it's like 10 or 15 years, it's damn near doubled. Okay. I think that we have a lot of people, a lot of jobs that could be condensed 2 jobs down into 1 job and still be just fine. Like I really do. I think
In the
we
federal government?
Yeah, 100%. I think we could shrink the size of. I think we could, if done correctly, if done with a scalpel surgically, you could shrink the size of the federal government without actually
By
costing
50%?
Maybe not 50%, but the fact that it's grown 50% in the past 10 or 15 years, I'm not a fan of. And
But I mean, here's the thing: is those are good. Those are good jobs. Like a government job is a good job. Like if you any time in American history, if you got a government job, you were happy, you were good, you had a pension, you were going to retire with the government, you were going to work. You don't make a ton of money, but it's not like super labor intensive work. It was a good, easy job. You weren't going to lose your job. You were going to go get retirement, and you were going to live the American dream basically. And if we look at what Elon Musk actually did, like he had to hire all these people back. He couldn't cut everything and he had to hire everybody else back.
I don't know if you caught, but I said that like the way that Elon did it with a sledgehammer instead of a scalpel is not how I would recommend doing it. Bill Clinton did it in the 90s. Bill Clinton, I can't remember how much he cut it. There's a percentage, but he cut it and he did it in a real surgical way and everything was just fine afterward. Like there is a way to do it. We need to stop growing the federal government. Overall, I don't want the government to have more to do with my life than it absolutely has to do with my life. Like just in general.
What does it have to do with your life right now?
Oh, I mean, as far as regulating us on what we can and cannot do. I don't want the government telling me I can't.
We want businesses to be regulated.
I don't want anybody regulating us.
Oh, you don't want like these businesses. You want the businesses to be able to dump toxic chemicals into our river system.
That's regulating companies, and I'm okay with standing up for the environment. What I'm talking about is like us, like freedom to choose on a variety of things. Even when it comes. Yeah, abortion. Let me think here. I'm on the spot now, so I can't think of any. I want to be able to buy as many guns, and I want my guns to be able to hold as many bullets as possible. I'm just joking. I think there should be some rules there. But yeah, no, overall, I would like the government to stay out of my life. Even when it comes to like who you can marry and who you can't marry, I don't care, and I don't think the government should care. If you're both people, you can get married. I don't care what the scenario is.
So this is a left-leaning. You're on the left on this. Like
so, I think that
everything you just said, the left under Biden, we were in a good spot, pretty good spot with that. And now Trump's trying to take away rights and he has taken away rights for American citizens, and yet cut regulation on big businesses so that they will poison the American citizens. He's like going in a way that's going to like destroy the human beings in America.
I don't know if I've told you this before. I'm damn sure I have. But Trump is not a conservative. Like, he's whatever a Republican is. Now, Republican and conservative are 2 different things. Like that, just because you're conservative, you're not necessarily a Republican. I should use the word conservative more because I say Republican, I mean conservative.
There's no Republican Party anymore. It's all MAGA.
It's MAGA, yeah.
Yeah, there's no MAGA. There's no Republican Party anymore.
A true conservative would be disgusted with everything Trump is doing these days. That's where I'm at. Like, I can't stand what he's doing. Even like tariffs. Tariffs are very much a Democrat thing. Like Republicans are free market. Let the market decide. You do not do tariffs. So yes, don't point at what Trump's doing and be like, look, this is Republican stuff. Like, I guess it technically is Republican stuff because he's a Republican doing it. But as far as like the traditional conservative values, like not a lot of what he's doing is conservative. But they're fine with that. I mean, he's not getting hurt in the polls from it. So yeah, that immigration, I think there should be an easy pathway to citizenship if you don't have a criminal record and you come here to work. And I think that there should be some kind of a period where like, hey, you have to prove that you are working and contributing to society and you get to be a resident here or become a citizen, whatever it is. We've been trying to get a bill through since the 90s, I think. And what always holds it up is amnesty. And what do we do with the people that are already here? And the Democrats always say, let's give them a pathway to citizenship. And the Republicans say, no, absolutely not. Trump is now floating kind of the idea of amnesty for them, which would be awesome if he did it. But like, we need to figure out the border. I know a lot of Republicans that are like, one in particular that me and you both know that his thing is like, shut it down. Not another person crosses. Shut it down. We're full. And it's like, no, that's not the answer. Like, our workforce is hungry for immigrants right now. Like, we need labor. They
Yeah.
provide cheap labor. We need that. But we should definitely know who's coming across the border.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think everybody agrees with that. Like nobody's for open borders.
there was a period during the Biden administration where it felt like the people around Biden were totally fine with just let them all in, and we don't even need to know who's coming. That was my biggest, my main issue with the Biden administration is like immigration got real squirrely for about 2 years now. Now what he was trying to do is he was trying to force the Republicans to pass a bill. He really wanted to pass a bill, and he was like, "Hey, look, the border's falling apart. We got to pass a bill. Look, all these people are coming in. We got it." And the Republicans stood pat and said, "No, we're not doing it unless you give us exactly what we want." And then eventually, the last 2 years of Biden, he then started going, "Well, what he was trying to say at the time was, I can't legally do this by executive order. Congress has to do it." And he was actually correct factually, but Congress doesn't want to do it. They haven't wanted to do it forever. So the only way things happen is the president has to do it, which anybody could challenge it and say, "Hey, this isn't constitutional," but they're not gonna, because they like the president having to make that decision and suffer the consequences for it. Like that's what they want. So Biden tried forever to say, "Hey, this is actually Congress's job. They need to do something here." And then after 2 years of them not doing it, he said, "Okay, I guess I'll do something now." And then when he started doing it, numbers at the border did get better. Hindsight's 2020, but there's a part of me where it's like, hey, the Republicans weren't going to give you, Trump would not let them give you a border bill, a victory. Because remember at one point, James Langford, the senator from Oklahoma, had negotiated a bipartisan border bill that like the House and the Senate had enough votes to get it through. And then Donald Trump said, "No, do not give Biden the win." And they killed the border bill. Like,
oh, I do remember that.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
They killed it. Because that would have been a win. We've had like 6 presidents in a row now who have been trying to pass a border legislation or an immigration bill.
Oh my gosh.
And we almost had one, and Trump said, no, don't let him have this victory. So at that point, when Trump did that, that's when Biden finally said, "Okay, I guess I have to do things through executive order now." But that's the way the last several presidents have done it. It's all through executive order because Congress does not want to get involved in that.
Yeah, I remember looking it up a while back, and it's like every president since like Reagan, maybe even before Reagan, had issues with the border. There's been just border. It's always that's been a top issue ever since.
So
America's been America.
Reagan did amnesty in like 86, I think. And that's the one thing. If you talk to Republicans that know history, they all think Reagan is like the great example of what a president should be. But like the ones that know history will go, except for the amnesty thing. Like they don't like that. Like, that's the one thing that Reagan did that they're not a fan of. But I think Trump could do it tomorrow, and his base would be like, Trump did it. It's good. Let's all celebrate this now. So that's one of those. That's another one of those where we just got to take the win. And who was it? It was Andrew Schultz and Charlemagne on Brilliant Idiots were talking the other day about Schultz. Basically, Schultz voted, or I don't know if he actually voted for Trump, but he supported Trump kind of. He had him on the show. He said good things about him. And now people are trying to do the whole like, this is what you voted for. And yeah, he was basically making the point that like, hey, like, the Democrats are being shitty about this to me. And like, that's not how you get me to come over to your side. Like, if you want me to consider voting Democrat next time, you're going about this all wrong. Like, what you're doing is driving me to be more, okay, I'm going to double down with Trump now because you're being assholes, which he's got a point. And then he ended up, I think it was the next day, had on the Pod Save America guys. They're all former Obama staffers. It's not a bad show. It's a high-rising left wing. Yeah. But he had them on, and they talked about this a lot. And the two guys from Pod Save America were saying, like, you're right. That's a problem on the left. Like, it's so satisfying to be able to say, like, ha, 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 I told you so. But, like, that's not helping anything. Like, if you want to grow the party, and take it all the way back to QAnon. There were times I knew 2 people that got sucked into QAnon, and my response was to be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you believe this dumb shit." And like, that drives them further into QAnon. Like, that's not how you're supposed to handle it. So if you see a Republican that, say, a friend of yours or anybody who says, man, like, it seems like what Trump's doing isn't working well, right? Like, the easy, fun thing to do is to be like, "I told you, blah, blah, blah. How could you have been so, how could you have been so stupid and not see that he was a con man?" Like, that's not going to make them come over to your side. Like that's a
No.
problem that we're having here. And like even me and you, like every now and then Trump will do something where he flip-flopped and now he's on our side. And like all we got to do is take the win. Trump is now doing the thing we want him to do, but instead we have this ha 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 Trump flip-flopped, and it's like no, he's shut up. He's doing the good thing now.
Right. Like the taco thing.
Yeah. I mean,
don't call him a taco. Don't call him a taco.
If Trump tacos out and say he just says, screw it, I'm not going to do tariffs at all. It's not going to happen. But let's just say in a fantasy world, Trump says, I changed my mind. Tariffs are bad. I'm not going to do them. Like what the left, all of America, in my opinion, but the left should be like, thank you, and just shut up. But instead, they're going to call him a chicken. They're going to call him all kinds of names. And then in that scenario, he would be like, okay, never mind. I'm putting the tariffs back on. It's like, you.
Yeah, we almost had him.
Yeah. So the left needs to get a lot better at that. And it's being shitty. It's being a bad winner, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not being a gracious winner. But
sure. But it's also like we told you. We did tell you. We've been telling you. We've been telling you for 16 years now that Trump is
that's only about
a monster.
Years. 10 or 11 years. 10 or 11 years. So it's like 2015 is since when we were telling him. Pre-2015, none of us gave a shit about Donald Trump. Every now and then he'd be in the news. We didn't care. Really. Even when he was doing the Obama birth certificate thing, the Obama birth certificate thing was 14 years ago. And even then we were like, he's a moron. Like we didn't really care. Me and you never got in fights with our buddies over the Obama birth certificate thing. Ever.
No.
Okay? We didn't give a shit.
I not fights, but yeah, I remember some people saying like, but yeah, we have a buddy who I remember him saying, Obama's a Muslim, like he can't be president.
And we really were like, whatever. Like we let him believe that. It's just leave him alone.
Yeah. And in reality, we should have been like, what is your proof of this?
Yeah. But I'm just saying, none of us really got up in arms about Trump until like 2015, I'm going to say. That's been the last 10 years, Trump has been dividing friends and family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
crazy town. And it's like you said, like for 12 years, we have been just telling people on the right that they're wrong.
10 years. You keep trying to jump it up. 10 years.
No. 2016.
What year do you think it is?
2025.
Okay. How many years ago was 2016?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it was before 2016, though, right?
2015. Go. 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Gotcha. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
I could be shitty about this right now.
Okay, so for a whole decade, my math is off. Sorry.
Yeah.
We've been telling these people that they're wrong in so many ways. I mean, I've tried in every different which way I could possibly.
Time out. You haven't tried in every which way because I guarantee you, I know you, Docs. You know you, and you know that I know that you know you. You probably have tried it in a way where you've called them morons for believing this stuff.
I've tried that way for sure.
I don't think you've ever tried
a way where I just ask questions and I'm inquisitive about what their beliefs are. And I've tried.
I think you ask questions until a certain point, and then you tell them they're stupid for believing the things they believe in. I've dealt with you, Docs. This is how you talk to people.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just saying. So yeah, and I'm not saying I'm good at it. I'm just saying, like, all together, the left needs to figure out a way to when somebody, because I've had buddies recently. I had a buddy, a soccer dad. We were in Kansas City, and while we were driving at one point, he was just like, "Hey, this big beautiful bill. It seems like a lot of people don't like it, right?" This is before it passed, and I had to like take a breath and then be like, "Okay, let me just calmly explain. Well, no, it's not that great, and here's why." And I just kind of laid out some things, and as I did, he was like, "Oh," and like, with all my heart, I wanted to be like, "It's the fucking he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do, and it's terrible." Like he said this during the campaign, but I didn't do that, and it was really hard to do, and that was like a victory of mine. Like I was very proud of myself for not shitting all over that, but like that's something we all have to work really hard at because we're not going to beat Trump unless we get back the people that went over to the Trump side. We got to get some of those middle people back.
Yeah.
And if we're being shitty to them, they're not coming back.
That's true. No, we don't need them back.
They're
They're lost, man. They're in a cult. They're lost. At this point, this is where I'm at. They're lost. They're in a cult. We need our base to get riled up.
I think that's the wrong way of thinking about it. I think we clearly need.
We're not changing anybody's mind. Have you changed anybody's mind?
Not yet. I'm still working on it.
No, yeah, 10 years. You haven't changed one person's mind.
I feel like I'm getting close. I'm getting close with a couple people. I'm doing the long con. I'm slowly reeling
This
them in.
isn't gonna work though.
Yeah. In fact, honestly, in the past 10 years, I've lost more people to the right than I've brought back from the right for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Not like me, not because of what I've said. I'm just saying people I know in my daily life, like more people have drifted to Trump than away from Trump.
Oh wow.
Think about it. Like, do you know anybody that's drifted away from Trump?
I don't know anybody. That's what I'm saying. Is I don't know anybody that's drifted away from Trump.
I guarantee you know a couple of people that are suddenly like, you know what? Trump's saying some things that make sense, and
It's
over the
a cult,
years,
bro. It is a cult, a 100% cult.
Okay, well,
and the one thing that I said to one guy was, we were talking about it all, and I was like, the problem with Trump is that you guys think that everything he says is gospel, is truthful and gospel, and then there's this other thing that tells us that Trump's had 30,000 lies in his first term.
Okay. So you can't trust that though, because that's the liberal media.
Yeah, but here I didn't go into this that much, but that kind of triggered. He was like, you're right. I do kind of just believe everything Trump says, because he kept spewing the stuff that Trump was saying that week, and I was just like, you can't just believe in Trump fully. Like, you don't believe in the media, you don't believe in this, but you believe that Trump is the end all be all. You don't believe in scientists, but you believe that Trump is like telling you the truth. And what was the organization that did the 30,000 lies?
Oh, I'm sure it was like the Associated Press or somebody.
No, it was something else. Fact Check America or something. I don't know. Anyway, so even if that, like, think about this, even if 1% of that is right, like, let's just say like 99% of it is total BS, but 1% of it is right. That's more than I've lied in my entire life. Way more than I've lied in my entire life in 4 years.
I tell a lot of lies, so I don't know. You're right. I'm just going to end there. You're right. Here's the thing is, they can work their way around that by saying, oh, well, all politicians lie. The thing is, I think it was Sauger on Andrew Schultz's podcast in the last week or so. His big point was like, the problem with this Epstein thing is that like part of the base is starting to go, holy shit. If he will lie to us about this, what else might he be lying to us? And this is the first real crack in the armor there, where people are starting to say, oh, wow, he is lying about this. He's clearly lying about this. Now, not all MAGA is saying that, but there's a part of MAGA that are very upset right now because they can't believe that Trump is lying. Trump doesn't lie. Lying. Yeah. Well, he's lying about this. So
let's see. Trump 30,000 lies.
Probably like factcheck.org or something. They don't trust the fact checks, man. That's a waste of time. If you ever try to bring up a fact check to a Trump voter, like, you're wasting all of everybody's time.
Congress.gov has something about it, which is interesting.
Well, Congress is right now controlled by Republicans, so if anything, it's probably calling out the lies of the liberal media.
Washington Post, NPR, Cap Times, barely. I know there was one like kind of a PolitiFact. Yeah, PolitiFact.
Okay, PolitiFact, yeah.
Yeah. Is that a left-leaning hoo-ha?
So you could look online and find one of those deals that like shows where they lie on the spectrum, but the right would tell you, yes, that is left-leaning for sure. Any fact check organization is left-leaning.
So here's today, So this is June 25th. Here's one lie. New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani is a communist. Here's another one. If the big beautiful tax and spending bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase. False. Oh my gosh. Harvard University refuses to tell us who its international students are. In the House bill, we're not changing Medicaid, only cutting waste, fraud, and abuse.
Some of those are lies, but then this is where it gets interesting, because like the whole, and I remember I read into this at the time, but Trump saying that you would be raising taxes on Americans by 68%. What he did there was he added up like, well, the lower tax bracket would go from 20 to 25, so that's 5%, and the business would, and he added them all together and combined, it's all 68, but it was something like that. But that's not how anybody else would do that math. But technically, it wasn't a lie. So a lot of times they can do that kind of funny math to make things work.
False or misleading statements, right? That's what they claim this as, right?
Okay, so, that's the best way to categorize it.
And I mean, you can just keep going down. This is insane. And Donald Trump. It's fun. Anyway.
Yeah.
So many.
No, I covered everything I got for tonight. You got anything else you want to chat about?
I think I'm good, man.
All right. Well, let's see. Our last episode got 1,000 views. I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to think of something fun to do tonight to celebrate that. Like, just.
Oh, you know what? Our 1 year anniversary of doing this is like tomorrow.
Jesus, is it really? Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Well, happy anniversary, Docs. I didn't give you
happy anniversary, Andy.
So what's funny is, every time we do a good show, and like there was one recently, what was the one we got like 600 views on one or something? It was 400, whatever it was.
Yeah, 400. Yeah, we got like a couple 200s, 400.
Yeah, we got a 400, and we were like, yes, like we're finally catching on. And the next one got like 17 views.
Right.
And it was like, what are we doing here? So the fact that the last one got 1,000, this one is destined to have less than 10 views. So
maybe
we'll see how it goes.
We have a little algorithm. We're gonna try and work the algorithm, aren't we?
Yeah. I'll say this. I think there is something to, I've always laughed when podcasters are like, don't forget to like and subscribe, like all that jazz. And I make fun of people for that. But I truly think that the likes and comments like help us in the algorithm. So if you're watching this, I should have said this at the beginning because nobody's probably still watching.
Hit that like button.
Yeah. If please, like, if you care about us, hit the like button so more people can listen to us talk. That's all I got, buddy. Have a good night. I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, later.
Later.
Sometimes you eat the bar, sometimes the bar eats you.